Today's Wednesday, November 29, 2017. It's our prize pack giveaway show. Stay tuned, here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds, when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway? Ron from California sent this in. Despite pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Great to be here this morning. Actually, I think great might be an over. It's tiring to be here this morning. And but I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving last week. Those of you who celebrated it here in North America, or I guess I should say in the United States, because special Thanksgiving, which is celebrated, I believe, in October, but I could be wrong. So send me your hate emails correcting me, friends. Anyway, I had a great time. It was as I mentioned during last week's show, got up early Thanksgiving morning, drove up to Wisconsin, joined my family with my youngest son, and basically had a full day of all sorts of outdoor stuff with the kids and the family, and had Thanksgiving dinner. Enjoyed it immensely with my uncle and my aunt and our good friend and neighbor to our east. So it was just really nice. I just wish we had a little bit more time. When we were up there, the weather was phenomenal. It was just awesome. Lake was beautiful. You couldn't have asked for a nicer Thanksgiving. And, Thanksgivings aren't given to us for free. They're not, they shouldn't be taken for granted, because you just never know. You just never know when you may not have a family member in your life which makes things very, very difficult. Or can. Okay, going off into left field there. So came back Sunday, dealt with the traffic, made it home fine. Monday back at work, Tuesday back at work. Just a busy couple of days, and I'm just looking forward to getting through this week into the weekend where I can just relax and take a breath. That's what I'm hoping for. So just been a crazy couple of days. Received one phone call. In the work that I do, we make elevator widgets, and work that I do, we have a lot of equipment that is installed from 1910, 1915, 1920, and there are situations where people send photos in, and literally you look at this stuff and you wonder, or at least I look at it and go, this thing has never been touched since the day it was installed, when you talk about maintenance and stuff like that. Which is scary. And then when you have technicians sharing with you on the phone some of the things that have been done to bypass safety equipment, it kills me. First thing out of my mouth when I hear that safety devices have been bypassed is it's telling them that you should lock that elevator up, or the doors up, contact the local inspectors. Because the reality is I tell them flat out, this is going to kill somebody. It's only a matter of time. And when I hear phone calls like that, I don't get them all the time, but when I do, they bother me to the point where I just scratch my head, and it's just really concerning. and I'm not saying this is a trend or this happens a lot. I'm not in the field, so I don't see it. Those of you in the field probably see it more often than I do. But when you do see an unsafe situation, please do something. Please do not turn your head the other way and say, oh, the next guy will get it, or I'm not going to worry about it because it's been like this forever. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Because the reality is that somebody's going to get hurt or worse. And if it's preventable, if you can prevent it, prevent it. I read on these on some of the Facebook bulletin board groups or whatever that I'm part of that are for elevator mechanics or technicians. You read. I don't know. This bothers me. So again, if anybody wants to send me some hate email or some corrections, or if you want to set me straight, feel free to, please. elevatorradioshow@gmail.com. And again, I guess this is my own opinion, so maybe I'm totally off base. I don't know. But I read posts on occasion that talk about unsafe conditions, how the companies are not making job sites safe. And it kills me to read that, because safety is up to each one of us in what we do each day. You can never use the excuse that your company is not providing the correct gear if they're not address that issue. And, whenever I respond on a comment like that, I get it shoved up my ass, to be honest with you. But the reality is that, come on, think about it. If your work environment is unsafe and you put that back on the company you work for, that you do not have the proper safety protection gear, that falls on you. That totally falls on you. There is no company out there that I know of that would want any of their workers to be injured or killed or whatnot. So please take a step to improve the job sites you're working on, to make sure you and your coworkers and construction workers are safe. Because the phone call yesterday that I received, just, there were about 5 or 6 things that were shared with me, and I can't share that with anybody, that I was basically just, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was the point where it required that I almost, send a letter out if I knew who the elevator contractor was. But I told the person on the phone, I said, listen, you've got to tag this thing out, make sure nobody rides it, based on what you were sharing with me and what devices have been overridden. So, and I don't believe this was a maintenance issue. It was an installation issue. And that begs a whole nother, leads to a whole nother slew of questions and concerns about who is installing our equipment. And I'm talking about non-elevator people in the United States. And it's a little scary. So anyway, okay, that's enough out of my brain, because it was just a terrible day yesterday and dealing with that, and just everybody wanting everything now because they think it's Amazon Tuesday or Black Monday or whatever the hell it is. It just was a busy day. So anyway, but we have some articles to talk about on the show that deal with safety. Not so many in the U.S., but still serious ones enough to bring it to light. So I'll cover those in the cover those next as we get into the show notes. I'm still tired. I only got 2 cups of coffee, and I could really use a third one, but we'll do the show first instead. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, prize pack giveaway. I'll give away a prize pack giveaway. Redundant, I know. $100 Visa gift card, along with some great goodies, some Starbucks gift cards, some cool goodies. It's like going to a trade show and getting all sorts of tchotchkes. So I'll give away that at the end of the program. And thanks to the following companies that have donated goodies for that. Those are listed in the show notes. And I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Oh, next week I think is our anniversary. Might even be this week. I don't know. I kind of lose track. Don't really care. But I do get people. I'll try to go over the stats that we kind of. The people that we meet or reach each week. It's pretty impressive. The video portion of it on YouTube is not something that people really watch too often. I know some people do, some people don't. But it's the audio is where the content is pulled from, and every week we get quite a significant number of downloads and listeners to the show. So, which is awesome. So thank you for that. Anyway, okay, we'll cover the news of the week next and have you out of here in no time.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? Then listen. This week's news stories.
Okay,
If not, stay tuned.
All right, first news article that popped up in the news aggregator. You might have already seen this, but Fox 29 News reporting apparently in Philadelphia, a man falls down elevator shaft from 23rd floor in Center City. Details are a little sketchy on this. They're calling it bizarre, but they're trying to figure out. The incident occurred around 2 a.m. Didn't find a whole lot of information on this. There were some other articles from previous years, but I'm sure we'll learn more from this as time goes on. I think maybe you'd think something would have come up before now, but it didn't. Next news article: couple relives being trapped in an elevator a year after the county fires in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We reported on this story when it happened. If you can imagine being stuck in an elevator due to a fire or due to a power outage during a fire, and if you didn't know the fire, you'd probably be better off. But if you did, it would make it so much worse. Oh my gosh, so kind of scary. And if you can imagine saying your goodbyes to your loved one, either on the phone or in the elevator itself, I can't tell you how that must have changed these two people. So I'm glad they were okay and nothing happened. I know in some situations there are elevators out there that will that do have oxygen systems in there, and those are typically in pretty bad environments that you nor I would want to be in every day. So, and that's anyway. Okay, NPR has a pretty cool article talking about why riding an elevator is like changing gravity, and it is. It's if you have never thought about it and you wondered, hey, my kids do this all the time. Like, hey, if you're in the car and there's a fly in the, you're driving around 60 miles an hour in the car, and there's a fly that's flying from the back of the car to the front, is that car going? And the fly's traveling at 2 miles an hour or whatever. Is the fly flying at 62 miles an hour? All those questions that make you go, Well, here's one talking about the weight that you weigh when you're riding in an elevator, and it's a pretty good representation taking place here in Chicago at the Willis Tower, or the Sears Tower, as I like to call it, about your weight in an elevator. This video is from the Museum of Science and Industry. As a kid, being in the elevator industry, one of the things that I enjoyed doing the most as a little kid was as the elevator got to the top, but it was your nurse. It's also in the link that I encourage you to share with your kids and grandkids and nieces and nephews if you got it. It's kind of neat. News Montreal has an article talking about STM halting repair work on the Blue Line escalators due to a manufacturing defect. So I haven't heard about that in the past in terms of work being, stopped, but hopefully they get that corrected and fixed. And no company is being, penalized for that, but they might be. I don't know. Okay, here's the Rogersville Review has an article regarding elevator controversy, and Director of Schools was grilled by commissioners about the installation of an elevator that went over budget. But the reality is that you do have to meet, American with Disabilities, the Act, and complying with that. So it's anyway, a lot of information regarding the elevator installation, and the reality is that it's in process right now and being installed, and really shouldn't be halted. Unfortunately, it would be silly. So anyway, hopefully in the future, whatever the issues are, they're dealt with and addressed by their board. Okay, in let's see, where's the Bangkok article talking about there's an investigation at the Chiang Mai airport after it had collapsed, which again, it didn't really quite collapse. The translation on this is not accurate, but it looks like based on the photos there were some steps that fell through. Maybe, I don't really know, but they're investigating, so I don't really know what they're going to find. Yeah. Anyway, so quite a few articles from India too addressing safety. I thought was pretty interesting, which I'll get to in a little bit. Here's how not to ride an escalator. If you ever thought about those that have never seen an escalator for the first time, this isn't just in third world countries or countries where, there's such a discrepancy between the wealthy and the not wealthy. But here's a bunch of videos, and this may not be an issue where somebody's never ridden an escalator before. It might have more to do with just the age of the person. But if you watch the video, you'll see this elderly gentleman, trying to ride this escalator. The not quite understanding how to get off of it. So not so great. And it's really unfortunate that that they're writing about that. How about write about safety involved with how to ride an escalator correctly. So maybe people who might see it get an idea if they've never ridden on one before. So in Auckland, Australia, business day, or New Zealand, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's an article talking about a 30-year-old man was taken to a hospital after falling down an elevator shaft at a construction site. Again, safety, something we all should be promoting. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But we cannot become too comfortable in our surroundings. It applies to all of us, even myself. Here are the slew of Indian articles. Here's one coming from the Pune Mirror. Apparently, 58-year-old woman died due to a fall into a lift shaft from the 7th floor of the Pimply Sagar building recently. I think we actually reported on this, but the family is citing that what are they waiting for? Obviously the elevator car was not there, lift doors open. That's a pretty serious incident, obviously. So this probably happens more often than not. Unfortunately, and it shouldn't. I mean, just that's the bottom line. Which leads to another article coming from localpress.co in India. In Mumbai, they have a proposed law to make third-party insurance compulsory for lift escalator-related mishaps. Man, I can't imagine not having insurance. As much as I hate it. I don't really hate it, but you know what I'm talking about. It's just basically throwing money into a barrel and then watching it burn so that you can have some peace of mind at night. That's how I like to describe it. It's very necessary. But yeah, it's interesting that in other countries they don't have this issue, where in the United States our litigious society is beyond insane. I think they must be in cahoots together, the insurance and the attorneys. So yeah, I'll see if that happens. Another one is stronger requirements for Mumbai. Times of India reporting that all construction buildings that want to install escalators or moving walks will need a get an occupational certificate. So I'm not quite really sure. Do not want how this quite, works into it. And I know that there's different areas in India that make it very difficult, but reality is that equipment should definitely be safe. I'm not sure what code they install under, if any at all, but we'll see whether or not that makes a difference. It just seems like it was the India week for news. And next week, I know we'll have some visitors into Chicago for the Chicago Elevator Association Christmas party. That's going to be December 6th. I got to make sure that's the right date. Yeah, that'll be Wednesday. So instead of it being a Thursday, it'll be on a Wednesday. And it will be at Harry Carey's in Lombard, Illinois. So, and also Formula Systems will be putting their party on. The day after or before, I forgot. One of those days, contact them for more information. And 'tis the season. 'Tis the next week to attend all the holiday parties you possibly can, if you want, if that's your kind of thing. So anyway, well, that's going to do it for the show. As I promised, I'm going to pull up my random number, random.org. Okay. Minimum one. Going to look up the... Okay, I got the email list up. And those that have subscribed. And remember, all you got to do to subscribe or to be eligible to win all of this good stuff is become a fan of the show. Okay, or subscribe or put your email address in the Elevator Radio Show box down at the bottom of the website, and that'll be it. So 5955. Okay, and the winner is Ed L. Ed L. from New York. That's Ed. Last name starts with an L. I don't know what the rest of it is. Ed, you are the winner of our 2017 December prize pack giveaway. Congratulations. I will send you an email shortly confirming your address. And as always, thank you for tuning into this show. It's greatly appreciated. All right. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Go out there, be safe, spread the word, all that good stuff. And hopefully you look forward to the weekend where you're not going crazy with shopping and all that stuff. That's all I can say. So, all right, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next Wednesday, and looking forward to seeing many of you at the holiday party, Christmas party next week in Chicago or Lombard. So take care. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.